Hey craft fairies, fall has begun in some areas. It is summer where I am, and I'm showing you some winter products here. So if you watch my Hello Fall from the Crafters campaign Today's Special Value, they also had a kit called Sparkling Winter. I did not get that one because I have this kit from last year and I have not used it yet, and plus it's very similar, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a video on this kit here. And it is no longer available, but if you have it, here is more inspiration. And if you don't have it but you did get the Sparkling Winter, you can kind of get some ideas from what I'll create and maybe inspire you. Okay, so here it came with, I did get the mega bundle, so it came with a 6x6 pad, a 12x12. So let me just show you really quick. So these are the papers, and they are different from the Sparkling Winter, but the color palette is very similar. So that's the paper. So I got the 12x12 and the 6x6, and then it also came with some linen cardstock, so I'll probably be using this as well. And then it also came with some acetate and vellum. And if you didn't know, this was shown last year with Crafters Companion, and it was debuted on HSN, and it never made it to air because a lot of us bought it before it sold before they could air it. So here is the acetate. You get 6 sheets of acetate, and you also get acetate in your Sparkling Winter. So I'm pretty sure it's Snowflakes, I think I saw. And then here is the vellum. So you get 2 different patterns. All right, so let me show you what else. This is a stencil. Here is some chunky glitter. Here is some fine iridescent glitter. Okay. Here is some shimmer spray. Here is some glitter paste, some ribbon, some sequins, some gilding flakes in silver, a border die, some charms, some stamps, another die with some coordinated stamps to make a snowflake. It's a half, but you cut it out twice and it will make a full one. An embossing folder, some snowflake dies. Here is another border die that you can cut into the paper, and here's some corner dies and some smaller snowflakes. So that is Winter Sparkle, and I'm just gonna work on some projects and inspire you. All right, so I am burning a vanilla birch candle to get me in the winter mood. All right, so we are gonna start off with, let's see, so I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna use. So we're gonna use this dies. We have this beautiful embossing folder, and we're gonna use some of this beautiful glitter, of course. So what I've done is I have taken some card and cut it down from the linen cardstock that came with the Make a Bundle. So that's going to be one layer, and this is going to be another one. So I'm going to start with just glittering the edges, and I'm going to do that with my little 2-way pen. So not a lot, just a little. So I'm just going to go around all 4 edges. Just like that. And then now I'll just get some scrap paper and get some glitter on that.
All right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I also wanted to put some glitter on the little, what is it, snowflakes. So I'm just going to do that by taking this sponge. There's my scrap paper. So I don't need a lot, just enough to give it some shimmer. So I'll just take a little sponge here and just kind of dab over it. I just want a little, not a lot. So there we go. See, it has just a little bit of sparkle. You might can't see it. I'll show it more once I start assembling. So I'm just going to do that to all 3 snowflakes. Just put a little bit of glitter on this little sponge, little cheap sponge here, piece of a sponge. And so then now I'm going to take this beautiful, can you see it, that we glittered the edges? Isn't it pretty? And I'm just going to go ahead and glue this onto that other card base. So I was not a fan of the linen card from Sarah, because not that it's bad or anything, but I just prefer the luxury mixed card, and I still do, but I'm learning to like the linen card because it seems to be coming in so many of her kits. That's the norm. So I'm learning to like it, but I still prefer the luxury mixed card with the pearl and the matte and the foil. So then I've taken the embossing folder and I've taken some paper from the paper pad and I've embossed this, and I'm gonna sit this right. I didn't realize that my camera has stopped recording. So here is the finished card. So I glittered those edges. You saw that on camera. I used the embossing folder and cut out some of the cardstock and with the embossing, and then I used the little 3-piece snowflake dies here. I added some of the glitter to it, the same glitter that I used for the border, and then I added a little jewel in the center, and then I stamped from one of the stamps onto some of the cardstock that says Snowflake wishes for a wonderful Christmas, and then that is the finished card. Super pretty. So for the next project, I'm going to be doing a scrapbook page. So I've used this glistening border here, and I've also used, I'm going to be using this set here with the little snowflake corner and these snowflakes here, and then I am also using this set here that comes with the half of a snowflake and 2 stamps. So let's go ahead and show you and get started. And I did get the make a bundle, so I already showed you it came with the 12 by 12. So what I've done is I've taken that border and I've cut it out twice, and I need to trim it a little. So let me trim that a little bit. All right, so I cut out 2 of them to go across the bottom of my scrapbook page to kind of just mimic, you know, some snow. So I'm just gonna get these glued down, and you will be seeing more scrapbook pages from me. I've got some requests from some fans, and I hear you. You're gonna get it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this glued down. So what I might do is speed this up and just, you know, so the video, because there are several projects that I want to show you and complete here. So I'm probably going to speed this up. I showed you everything that I was using, and then also I cut some more of that linen cardstock and some more of the pattern paper from the paper pad, and that's where my picture is going to go. So I'm probably going to speed this up because we have a few projects to do. scrapbook page. It is not dimensional, but it is very pretty, very wintry. So there you go. There's another idea for you to create a scrapbook page. So for the next project, we're going to go ahead and use some of the glitter paste here. This is the blue color, and this is actually called Starlight Blue. There is my craft spatula there. So I've cut out a card layer, then I'm going to use this one to layer on top. So this is actually where I'm going to stencil. So here is the stencil here. It is a 5x5 stencil. So that's about maybe a little smaller, the size you'll get for your snowflake. So I'm just going to take this like this, and then I'm going to take some tape and tape it down. So I have some Crafter's Companions low tack tape, so I'm just going to tape it because I can't keep my little hands still when I'm painting, and I don't want it to go under the stencil because it'll keep moving and the paint will slide under the stencil, and then you'll have like a little bit of a design flaw. All right, so then it's easy. You just take the paste, open it up, and get this open. All right, so very beautiful. It's not that full. I think to me it's like halfway. I think they could have filled it up a little more, but all right, so you just take a little bit from your palette knife or your craft spatula. It does not come with the kit. You can pick these up at the Dollar Tree. Theirs are a white color, as this one is a black color that I got from another company. So you just go over the stencil just like that. It's pretty much super easy. If you don't want to use the glitter paste, you can use inks and just see if you're happy with it. So it looks okay to me. I'm gonna go ahead and release it. Super pretty. I did get a little bit on the side, so you could just wipe that off. You want to quickly get this to soap water your stencil. If not, it's gonna dry up and it'll be harder to remove. So I'm just cleaning that up off the edge because I don't want that there. But how pretty is this? So pretty. So let me get this in some soap water, my stencil, and clean this up. That will take some time to dry depending on how thick of a layer that you use. So yeah, so now we're going to move on to another project, and this is, I'm using this winter frost die, so where you cut into the card. So I've taken one of the papers from the paper pad, of course, and actually taken two of them. So what I'm doing is I've taken this die, and you just take it and you put it wherever you want. I had put it in the center of the page, and then I just run it through my die cutting machine. So wherever you stick it, it's going to cut into the page like that. So that's what I got. So now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this on. I trimmed down the sides a little bit, so it's actually a little smaller than a 6x6. So this is really easy, this one. So I'm just going to get some glue down. So if you guys have not seen my Hello Fall video, it is posted as well. I did release this one and the Hello Fall at the same time, so that you can be able to choose and see which ones you want to watch and maybe be inspired. So yeah, so I'm just lining this up to my liking. And I've also taken this one here again, this snowflake die here again. I cut it out into some of the cardstock, some lighter color, and I'm going to place that here. So yeah, I'm just going to line it up like right here. So then you're just going to try and line this up. go. So there is a lot of snowflakes going on here. Just going to add some jewels, of course, to the centers. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some glitter. So I'm gonna put this to the side to dry for a moment. So then for our next project, we are going to be working with the gilding flakes. So I'm gonna take the border die here again, and I'm just gonna put it towards the end of the page, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut that out. So I've cut that out, and here it is. So then now what I'm going to do is I have 3 flakes here that I want to place on the card, but I want to use some of this. So I'm trying to decide if I want to gild the snowflakes or if I want to gild this. I think I might do this part. The problem is with these intricate pieces, you have to be very, very careful because they will easily rip. So yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and go for it. So what you have to do is take the glue, and I'm just gonna take the sponge and I'll put some glue on the sponge. Don't saturate it, but just, you know. So then I'm just gonna go ahead and hope that I get every section of this. It's not a lot, but I'll do the best I can to get as much as I can. All right, so let me just take a look at it. So it all looks pretty much it all looks where the most parts where I want it wet. Don't forget about this corner and that corner. So you just give it a couple minutes to dry, like to not dry, but to get like tacky, and then we can go ahead and apply the flakes to it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that cap back on there. So all right, I'm gonna take these flakes, and these flakes are dangerous. they get out of control. I like to use tweezers, so I'm gonna take some tweezers, and I'm just gonna kind of like stick into my tweezers, but you could just kind of get it down. Don't have any fans or any air blowing directly towards you because it will definitely blow this. So I'm just kind of gonna like lay it down. And I'm probably using like way too much, so remember you can save it. It's one color, so you could put it back in the pot. I believe you can. So I'm just pressing it all over, trying to get every edge that I see where I believe I had the glue. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the dry side of this sponge and just start like sponging it off. Okay, just be careful because this is a very, very intricate piece and you don't want to rip it. So I'm not too fond of doing it on intricate pieces, but it is pretty. The pieces that I missed, they will stay missed. You see it? How pretty is that? Because these intricate pieces are like bending, but You see it? Isn't that pretty? So you can go back and add glue to like these little blue spots that I missed. I'm not going to do that because this is super messy right now. So I'm going to clean that up. I'm actually going to put it back in the pot. If it'll go back in there. Just like, oh no. You know why it's not going in there? Because the lid is closed. How funny. So hopefully you can just push it down. And yeah, so then I'm gonna just take my little brush here and just, oh my gosh. So I'm just gonna take a little more of the glue and just get some adhesive on it. And I'm gonna just like put a little bit on these snowflakes and see if I can get some of this extra on the snowflakes. See what I'm doing to get it up? I don't know if that's gonna work. So then I'm just taking another piece of from the paper pad, and I'm just going to go ahead and take this and just glue it on top of here so that we have that beautiful blue background. And then I'm just going to glue down my snowflakes. Then I have a jewel for each of the centers. So then I'm going to use the stamp set, and I'm going to stamp something here. Let's see. All right, I'm going to use this one right here. It says, "May joy and happiness snow on you." So I'm just going to get that on. So it says, "May joy and happiness snow on you." Yeah, that's correct. Okay. There we go. I'm just put that aside to dry for a minute. To finish this card, I'm just going to put that sentiment right here. May joy and happiness snow on you. And then we'll just glue that to a card base, and we are finished with that one. Now, to go back to this one here, remember this one? So I'm just gonna, it should be dry. I'm just gonna dust off the excess of the fairy dust. And I'm not gonna put a sentiment on the front of this because it's just too pretty to cover up. I don't want to cover up any of this. Normally you will put the stamp that comes with this set, you will stamp it in the middle, but I have this. I use two different die sets, so we're just gonna leave that. And then for this, we were waiting for it to dry. I feel like it's still wet, so I'm just gonna leave that. But how that will look in the end is I will just glue that on top of this white pretty card and have that white background. And if you can squeeze a little sentiment on the final project, we are going to use some of the acetate and some of the glitter and some of the sequins. Instead of these sequins, I have my own sequins that I want to use if I can find them. So I'm gonna go ahead, if you are familiar with Crafter's Companions acetate, I'm not sure about the Today's Special Value, but there is a protective film on it. You have to get that off and peel that back so that you can, it protects the acetate from getting all scratched. So the hard part is finding where that piece is, but we're gonna go ahead and get that done. Okay, I think I found it. So like this, because if you look at it, I don't know if you can tell, but it looks a little cloudy. So there we go. So I'm going to peel that back. Now I've taken a piece of the card. I have my own die. I'm going to use a heart, and the reason I'm using a heart is because this card can be for a snow lover. So if you know people who love snow, you could use a little heart die to make a little heart shaker for them with some snow. So I've cut my heart out of the center, and you can save this maybe for the inside. And so I'm going to move that to the side. So then now what I'm going to do is I need to cut a piece of acetate to go on back of here. So you want to cut it to size to fit around your heart. So I'm just going to eyeball it, and all right. Okay, so I just eyeballed it. I'm going to lay it like that. I'm going to get some tape around it. I'm going to use some red liner tape to put this on. If I can find it. There it is. So I'm just going to release the red backing from this. I'm just going to get the acetate down. Okay, there we go. We got that down. So now I'm just going to get some foam, some little foam strips here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get foam all around the heart. Sorry. And I am going to do a double layer on the foam. So this is how it's going to look. So now I'm going to take some of my elements here. I'm just doing this just to make sure I have them in the right spot. And I have the glitter here. Gotta be careful with this. Oh my gosh, it's so much. So then I have some white snowflakes here from Sarah's previous snowflake collection called Glittering Snowflakes. So I'm just gonna add some of those in there, and I think that should be enough. And let me just make sure I still got this in the right spot. I do. And I'm just going to take my little anti-static bag and just kind of, you don't have to do this, but they sell them at the craft stores. And what it does is just takes off some of the stickiness and the static from the acetate, so that most of your pieces will not stick. So then now I'm just going to take these pieces off. And you could also wipe that area with a dryer sheet if you have it. Just don't put too much pressure so that you don't scratch up your acetate. Okay, so then now I'm just going to take this and line it up. And if you want, you can put tape on the edges here. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some, I got too excited. I'm gonna add some little foam squares to the corners. You do that, do it if you can do it before laying this down. I got too excited. So I'm just gonna put them at the corners and the middles of the cards. So then like one right here. One on this end, one in the middle here, and you do got to peel off the backing, which I'm not doing. I'm just trying to show you really quick, and then one in the center here. So then now let me just peel off the adhesive backings on all of them. Okay, so that side is ready. That side is ready. All right, so there we go. So now we have it here. And for the fun part, isn't it pretty? So you just tap it, get all of that stuff moving around. If you have some pieces fall out, like the sequins are too big to fall out, but the glitter may seep out, just press around that tape area to make sure it's sticking. But how pretty is this? So you glue it. I have a card base here, so I'm going to glue it to the card base. But I want to put, I'm probably going to take this on the put this on the inside of the card. So remember we cut that out and I said save this piece. So I'm going to take this and put this on the inside of the card, but you could just like stamp that on the heart here. So I'm going to probably stamp that like right there. So I use these little stamps from Aladdin. They're really nice. They just, the caps don't stay on. That's so annoying, but these are really good quality. For me, they're good quality. Pigment ink. I think it's pigment ink, and I like them a lot. So I got mine from HSN, but they really are nice. Okay, this is the right side. Yeah, all right. There we go. So snowflakes are the fairy dust of winter. So I'm gonna let that dry. And this dries pretty fast. So I'm going to use from the watercolor Christmas from Sarah's previous collection, one of these stamps, because I want a sentiment like that'll fit across here, and this is perfect. This one that says let it snow from this collection is just a little too big, so I'm going to use let it and then snow. So I'm just gonna do my best to get this lined up. All right, so then I'm just gonna stamp this in a blue color, and again I'm using the little Aladdin. So I'm gonna use this blue color. They come with 2 colors on each, so you get a lot of colors. Actually, I'll show you the kit. I've had it for like a year and something, maybe like a year. So they come with colors on the bottom, colors on the top. I don't remember how many, 32 colors. So you get like 16 of these and they got 2 colors each. And I recommend keeping them in that little canister unless you have something else, because these lids keep coming off and you don't want to dry your ink out. So hopefully they improve that. So this is just cute for like small, not cute, but it's useful for like small images that you want to stamp, or precise images. And I like it. You get a lot of colors. All right, so let me attempt to get this right. Oh God, look at that. I screwed it up. I didn't get the L. There we go. It's a little better. So then I'm just going to go ahead and get this glued down to the card base. Make sure I have it correct. I do. So this is a 6x6 card. And then for this part, I'm going to put it down the bottom, trim off the end a little bit, and I'm going to put that here with some foam tape. So I'm going to put the Let It Snow here at the bottom. That's kind of crooked, so I can get it lined up correctly. And actually, I think I'm going to let me see if I can round these corners. Got this tape on it. It might not work. Yeah, no. So I'm using Crafter's Companion, this little corner rounder. I just have to take the tape off. And then the final one. All right, so it looks better rounded. That's just my personal preference right now, since I have this little rounded heart. There we go. And I'm trying to figure, do I want this at the bottom or the top? I don't know. But there it is, super cute. Little shaker. And the inside, snowflakes are the fairy dust of winter. How cute is that? All right, so let's go ahead and tally up our projects. So the first one, take a look at, remember we did our scrapbook page here where we used the border and some snowflakes and that other set. So we did that. Pretty. Then we have this one that we did with the glitter paste, the blue color, super pretty. And this can be used like for home decor, you know, that's so pretty. Then we had this one here where we used the border on the edge of this one and some snowflakes, and we used the gilding flakes. So that's that one. And then we had this beautiful one here where we used the embossing folder, and I glittered the edges of this. How pretty is that? And then we had this one here where I didn't put a sentiment because I didn't want to cover up this. Some, you know, if you watch me from the beginning, a lot of cards I do not put a sentiment on the front, especially when it's a lot of detail that I don't want to cover up. So that's super pretty, using that cut-in die and then those snowflake dies. Here I was able to put a sentiment here, you know, without covering up too much. You still can see the embossing, you can see the snowflakes. And then this one I was able to get a sentiment on there. This one I'm just most likely would not put something on the front unless it can fit like a small stamp across here or something, but it takes up the majority of the card, that snowflake, so I don't want to cover that up. And then finally we made this one, which is my favorite because I'm a shaker card lover. We made the shaker card, and we took the cutout and put that on the inside that says snowflakes are the fairy dust of winter, let it snow. So those are the projects. That was a total of 6 projects, so I hope you like it. Please let me know. And if you, this is not the today's special value. The today's special value was called Sparkling Winter, and this one is called Winter Sparkle. So it's similar. So hopefully this give you some inspiration. And then if you haven't watched the Hello Fall, that one will be in the description box for you to watch that one, because I did buy that one as well. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you again soon. Bye.